Will everybody please rise for the Pledge of Allegiance? I pledge allegiance to the United States of America, and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Dr. Shandor, members of the York County School Board, members of the School Division Cabinet, faculty, family, and friends. My name is Madison Northrup. On behalf of the York River Academy Class of 2023, I welcome you to our commencement ceremony. Tonight, we appreciate this opportunity to share our accomplishments with all of you. We are very grateful that all members of the York County School Board could be with us this evening. Mark Schaefer, Brett Higginbotham, Laurel Geraltz, James Richardson, and Sean Myatt. We are equally excited to welcome members of the York High School NJROTC Color Guard. We appreciate their partnership to provide the colors for our graduation. At this time, I would like to introduce the Honorable Laurel Geraltz to say a few words. The Honorable Laurel Geraltz is the chair of the York County School Board, representing District 3. Ms. Geraltz grew up in Ohio, attended Kent State University to earn her BS in Business Administration, and later earned her master's from Liberty University in Human Services. She has spent the last 22 years raising a family and volunteering in the community in a variety of roles. Ms. Geraltz lives in Yorktown with her husband, Mike.
Thank you very much. Good evening, graduates. How are you? Good. There we go, good. I bring greetings from the school board as we celebrate you and this amazing milestone in your life. I also get the honor of sharing some advice as you embark on their next chapter. I've been waiting all year to hear the speeches you have prepared for tonight because it's truly one of my favorite things. On the other hand, I know you have not been waiting to hear my speech, so I'll be brief. Remember that sometimes there's value in hearing words of wisdom from people who've learned from their failures and their successes. I wish to share two pieces of advice that were learned from mistakes I made along the way. The first is about your roots. During the last 18 years, you've grown and developed some roots. These roots have made you who you are at this current moment and are a part of your unique personality. Your roots could be playing baseball or singing or theater. What passion did you pursue that made you feel whole and built your confidence? Maybe you were heavily involved with your church or volunteered helping animals or played an instrument. My advice is this: do not leave those things behind. Just because you're starting the next phase of your life journey does not mean you have to discontinue all the things that brought you to this moment. Find ways to stay involved with those things as you go to college, join the military, or join the workforce. Get involved in local theater, keep making music, keep drawing or painting, find a faith community, keep gaming, or find an adult league to play for. Or you could volunteer with the next generation and pass on your knowledge and talent. I wish I would have continued with theater or horseback riding, but I dropped both of those like a hot potato, and I've regretted it ever since. I promise that continuing to develop these roots will aid in your success and will keep you connected to all that made you, you. I also want to encourage you to surround yourself with a village of quality people to do life with and learn from. Be sure that you keep friends around you who will tell you the truth and encourage you to remain on the right path. Create a village that motivates you to be a better person and challenges you to make a difference in this world. My pastor always says, show me your friends and I'll show you your future. When I look back on people I had surrounded myself with when I was your age, it's no wonder I did not pursue my dreams. When I finally built a strong village, I began to achieve my goals and experience true contentment. Think about the circle of friends you have now and imagine that future. Will they help you achieve your greatest potential? As you enter this next chapter of your life, build a village that you admire and you can look back on with pride. Class of 2023, you should be extremely proud of yourselves, and I know that every single person gathered in this room is proud of you as well and can't wait to see what you do in this next chapter of your life. Congratulations.
I now have the distinct honor to introduce Dr. Shandor. Dr. Victor Shandor was appointed as Superintendent of York County School Division in August 2014. He has 29 years of public education experience as a teacher, principal, and district administrator. Shandor, a 1992 graduate of California University in Pennsylvania, began his career in education as a teaching assistant. He then earned a master's degree in exceptional education from Old Dominion University and ultimately a doctorate in educational leadership at Wingate University. Dr. Shandor grew up in Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania. He and his wife, Melissa, have 3 children.
Good evening. Thank you so much for that introduction. Can we give a big round of applause for these students one more time? Good evening and congratulations, York River Academy Class of 2023. I'd like to welcome and thank our teachers, parents, families that are celebrating with us today. Graduates, you've reached a major milestone in your life, and I'm honored to share this accomplishment with you. As you prepare to face the change that lies ahead, here are a few things to keep in mind. Chase after what is important to you. With everything you have, relentlessly go after the things you want in life. No one will fight for your dreams more than you, so go after them. Remind yourself every day that you can do it, and choose not to feel sorry for yourself. Self-pity is the biggest barrier to success. Be willing to bet on yourself. Even the most confident person has some degree of self-doubt. Sometimes the difference between success and failure will depend on you telling that little voice, no, not today. It will say things to you like, you're not smart enough, you're not good enough, this dream is meant for someone else. Silence that voice and choose to believe in you. Never be satisfied with good enough. Not for your career, not for your relationships, and not for your life. Don't settle. Life will give you what you're willing to settle for, so always choose to want more. Be selfish when you're investing in your life. So choose a career that you're passionate about, engage in relationships that are extraordinary, and live a life that's beyond measure. Be willing to learn from your mistakes. Life isn't about being perfect, it's about progress. Mistakes are inevitable, so own them, say you're sorry, and move on. If you can't, make your peace with it and move on. Do not carry them with you. Outwork the people around you. The difference between you and the person sitting next to you is who's willing to work harder. Stay focused and don't worry about what everyone else is doing. Successful people invest in themselves. They put in the work when no one is watching, with no promise of a reward and no prize for first place. And by far the best advice I can give you is be human. Show compassion, listen when people are talking, learn from others, and share what you have. There's no amount of money, no level of fame, and no number of degrees or awards that can compare to being a good human. Be the person willing to do the small things because they will matter to someone else. Be the person who other people choose to be around, and be the person other people can rely on. Each day, get up and be the best possible version of you. Congratulations, class of 2023. You deserve it. I can't wait to see all that you accomplish. Thank you.
Good evening. Tonight's graduation will not feature a speech by a valedictorian or a class president. Our school mascot is the Phoenix, a mythical firebird that rises from the ashes. It is a fitting symbol for our students who have risen from the ashes of the many challenges that they have experienced in life, most notably the coronavirus pandemic. Many of these students have risen from the ashes of problems that may have been so debilitating that they would have made a weaker person quit or drop out along the way. To get here, they have had to fight, struggle, and persevere along the way. But most importantly, they have overcome. Tonight, each of our seniors will give a speech, as has been our YRA tradition since our first graduation in 2009. On behalf of the YRA staff, it is my honor and my privilege to present to you the York River Academy class of 2023.
When I was a toddler, one of my dreams was to become, and I quote, stupid rich. I'm already stupid, so I'm halfway there. However, I can agree that this is a very vague and one-dimensional goal, and I believe that York River Academy has put me on the right track in determining what I really want in life. I prefer to remain modest when speaking about myself, but I'm confident in saying that I am a prime example of the good that this school does for its students. I made so many new friends and memories that will stick with me throughout my adult life, something I struggled with in middle school. Every teacher and staff member from here, my online classes, and New Horizons were pivotal in my academic endeavors. But what makes all the work that these amazing people have done matter is my parents' ability to take my academics seriously and give me the breathing room I need. And I wholeheartedly believe that this is something that all students need, whether they just started high school or are graduating. I can name several examples where my parents have gone the extra mile to put themselves on the line just so I could be standing here today among my peers. But I think the incident that stands out the most is when the three of us stayed up until 5 o'clock in the morning to finish a research paper I had that was due later that afternoon. Knowing that this speech is supposed to be about me and the journey I had, I would like to take the time to uplift others, as there's likely a sizable portion of the audience that's either in high school or has graduated. And I know a lot of these people have been struggling with school or reflect poorly on it. They might think, school was useless. It didn't teach us anything we need for the real world. I'm stupid, or I'm not going to graduate. I've been in every one of those places before, and I almost feel embarrassed that it took me this long to finally learn this lesson. But be grateful for the things you learn, no matter how insignificant it might seem, because, and this was something my dad would tell me repeatedly, people will kill for the knowledge that you have.
As I stand here today, I see the faces of family, friends, neighbors, and teachers that helped me get to the point I am currently at. These people have spent the time and patience to not only inspire me, but to also help me myself in the field of education. From my parents, Jeffrey and Kimberly, who told me the importance of passing with perfect grades and how it can help later in life, and helping me if I needed a question answered. To my dearest neighbors, John, Rebecca, Taylor, and Mason, who also proved in the case if my parents were gone for the moment, they too served as helpful guides about school and what I could use to pass. To my Aunt Tina and my cousin Gavin, one inspired me to pursue those perfect grades, while another told of similar experiences he dealt with in school. Then we come to the man who greatly inspired me to get to the point I am now, my dear grandfather Charles, who always told me the stories about his time in high school, telling me stories about how he decided to drop out of high school as soon as he turned 18 to join the Navy, in which he joined the Navy as a young man. He inspired me to graduate and to know the importance of having a full education, something which I am thankful for. But as I thank my family and friends, I would be remiss if I didn't thank the teachers and faculty of York River Academy who managed to greatly inspire me to improve my grades, as was the very reason I was brought here in the first place. I shall never forget Miss Collier, Mr. Tremblay, Miss Wheeler, Mr. Lorio, Mr. Carpenter, Mr. Ritter, Miss Warwick, Mr. Acina, Mr. Marinova, Mr. Coffer, Miss Williams, Miss Sheffield, and Mr. Cross. But before I go, I'd like to give some final words, once said by a dear friend of mine to everyone present here at the thank you. One day I will come back. Yes, I will come back. But until then, there must be no regrets, no tears, no anxieties. Just go forward in all your beliefs and prove to me that I am not mistaken in mine.
Hello, my name is Ian Bell. These past few years have been different with COVID and this not being the average high school. Through middle school, I was homeschooled from 6th to 7th grade, then went to York Middle in 8th. I went here because I thought it would be better to go here than a normal high school like York High because of how small the class sizes were and how few different teachers there are. I'd like to thank Ms. Collier for fun and helpful math classes, Ms. Marinova and Dr. Warwick for good science classes, Mr. Carpenter, Ms. Wheeler, and Mr. Acina for being great IT teachers. I learned a lot about the parts of computer from Mr. Acina. Learned a lot about the Microsoft Office from Ms. Wheeler. And Mr. Carpenter for giving a great IT-based classes, messing with virtual machines and coding in the JavaScript and HTML. Thank you.
Poked in the eye with this. Okay. Hello, my name is Hunter Fournier. I would like to come up and say that I originally had no ideas for what to say nor for what to write. If I were to say something that I wanted, if I were to say something that I wanted to say, it would begin by me saying that it's our rationality that separates us from most animals. Ever since I was in elementary school, I'd always been getting in trouble. Some things I did were not great. I'll admit that I did some stupid things due to some of the emotions that I was holding on to. It wasn't until 5th grade that I had actually started to stop myself from doing stupid things by either shutting down physically and emotionally or by walking away from a situation. Even further still, it wasn't until 8th grade that I started straying away from humanity. I had gotten through schooling with a lot of issues that were either disciplinary or low classwork grades because I couldn't see where the issues lied. There were in-life things that happened out of school that played the major roles in me shaping into the person who I am now. It wasn't until 9th grade that I realized that the issue was in my head all along. There were issues I was suppressing even though those issues were already over. I was just suppressing my emotions the wrong way. It was then that I had decided that I wanted to change most of my emotions. In doing so, I had ended up in a better or worse mindset. I stopped truly caring for what people did or said to or about me, and instead started caring more about what people did to my friends and family. I started casting away parts of my life and my memories to assure that I can focus more on the mindsets of my friends, making sure that they didn't commit suicide or kill someone. In turn, I looked towards my family to keep myself grounded in life. It was my mom who helped me keep my head on and my stepdad who helped me to look through a lot of my issues. My elder sibling helped me to look forward to life. As crappy of a beginning as you get, you can always get into a better situation. My grandfather helped me find out through hard work and effort you can get just about anything done. My grandmother taught me a better way to take care of people. As uncaring or harsh as I may seem, I'll always be there for my friends and family because of my experiences in life. I can pass off some of this knowledge to people that need it, or even kids I may have in the future. Thank you to my family, friends, and teachers that helped me throughout the years. I want to say special thanks to Mrs. Collier for being a teacher and friend to her students, Mr. Ritter for helping people through some things when they couldn't handle it themselves, and my two best friends, Adrian and James, for helping me improve myself. As a wise DM would say at the end of the battle, how would you want to do this?
Hello everybody, my name is James Green. Today is a special day because I graduate from high school and I get to explore life on my own. I've had a lot of good times and a few hard ones, but thanks to my friends, they have made it all a little bit easier on me. Recently, I've been trying my hardest to prove that I'm capable of doing schooling, and I got an offer to go through Job Corps to better myself. I'm going to try to go through the program, but I'm terrified of heights. If I could do it, I believe anybody can make an effort to better themselves. Without the help of all the teachers here, I don't think it would have gone as easily as it has. I thank you all for watching me grow and change, and I hope the best in life for the rest of you.
Hello. Immediately putting it out there that this is a difficult thing for me to be doing, and I never imagined I could be doing something like this in front of an audience. I've struggled with anxiety for as long as I can remember and have experienced intense situations that the average high school student probably shouldn't. I've always struggled with intense depressive episodes and struggled with school while I was experiencing them. Behind all these issues, though, I've had many friends come and go in my life, and I wanted to thank two of them that are graduating with me today. When I came to YRA, I wasn't sure what to expect. I struggled a bit with the new community around it, but overall I got the help I needed from my teachers. I feel grateful that I can graduate and move on from this part of my life. I would like to thank Ms. Sheffield for giving me this opportunity and assistance to be here and graduate, and Mr. Lorio for giving me helpful advice while I was struggling and needed to talk about my things. Thank you.
Hi, I'm Aiden Miller. Bill Phillips once said, "Focus on progress, not perfection." A lot of the time, I have to make sure stuff is done rather than making sure it's the best it can be. Many things done decently is better than one thing done perfectly. I've learned that the hard way. I was putting way too much time into projects that were practically done instead of using time to do other projects that weren't even started. That really wasn't great for my grades. Better to get 3 80s than 1 100 and 2 zeros. Really, that's the most important thing in life, quantity over quality.
Hello, my name is Owen Munson, and I've been here at YRA for 4 years now. And in all those years, I've realized family is important in one's life, in and out of school. They have helped me more times than I can count. My father has always been the more problem-solving parent. My mother has always said encouraging things to make me feel better. My brother and sisters are bums and don't help. I think my family should be cherished and remembered forever.
Good afternoon. My name is Maddie Northrop. I would like to take a moment to thank my teachers, parents, and my friends for their unwavering support and guidance throughout my academic journey. Without their love and encouragement, I would not be standing here today. My teachers have been a constant source of inspiration and knowledge, pushing me to be the best version of myself. And my parents have always been there for me, cheering me on and helping me through every obstacle. I am so grateful for everything they have done for me, and I will never forget their contributions to my success. Lastly, I'd like to thank my friends who have supported me and stayed with me through thick and thin. Thank you all for believing in me and helping me achieve my goals.
York River Academy was a great but challenging experience. In addition to being a high school student, we had to learn because of COVID in a completely new way of learning, which was remote learning. After getting back to school and in person, I could learn to the best of my ability to ask my teachers questions, be with my friends again, and do other programs. I'm going to be doing an internship this summer, and in the fall, I plan to do VPCC. My high school career has been a smooth ride with some bumps along the way, and I look forward to what is next for me. Really quickly, I want to just thank some people that helped me during school. Mr. Carpenter, thank you for helping me study for my computer programming IT fundamentals classes. I also thank you for giving me helpful advice on how and what to talk about during my internship interviews, what to say, and more important, what not to say in an interview. I enjoyed and will miss you and your class. Mr. Ritter, thank you for helping me throughout this year and the previous 2 years of schooling. Since I never had a chance at first to have a conversation with you, when I first met you, I did not realize at first that you were going to be as important to my success as you are now. But I was completely wrong. You helped me throughout my sophomore year, and during COVID, you advocated for me to return to in-person learning. You then helped me throughout 11th grade, making sure daily I was doing well in class, keeping me focused, and other things. However, because of your help the previous years, this year I have not needed your assistance as much. I appreciate all of you have done for me, and I really will miss you, not only as my IEP counselor, but more as a friend. Ms. Sheffield, thank you for assisting me to get the requirements for my Eagle Scout project done here at YRA. I'm also thankful for you trying to set up many things for us, even though some of the activities were pretty silly and weird. But I still enjoyed everything and appreciate everything you've done to make YRA a different and great place. Ms. Marinova, thank you for not giving up on me for these past 4 years. You are a great science teacher, and your class has always been incredibly fun and interesting to me. You are a great teacher, and I will miss you. You have an amazing ability to convince a student to get their work done, even when they're stubbornly not wanting to do it for 2 days straight. Miss McKay, I thank you for helping me in my 12th grade year. You've always been willing to help me on assignments that I have trouble with for my online history class, and you have been a nice person to talk to about things. You always make classes a lot more enjoyable and fun to be in when you're around. Mr. Loria, thank you for teaching English to us. You are a great teacher, but what I will miss most is your stories about when you were younger. They are legendary. I will miss hearing them. Miss Collier, thank you for teaching us math here at YRA. Your extreme passion for teaching is beyond apparent to anyone who has had you as a teacher. I also want to thank my mom and dad. Dad, I want to thank you for helping me get assignments done on time to the best of my ability. I want to also thank you for fighting tooth and nail to get me back into the school for my 10th grade year so I could pass my classes. And I also want to thank you for all the advice and love you've given me throughout my high school years. Mom, I want to thank you for helping me on all my English assignments that I needed help on. I also want to thank you for encouraging me to be a part of the Fife and Drum Corps for the last 7 years. I thank you both for helping me throughout my years of schooling, and I hope I can use what I've learned from you both in the future. And I thank my grandparents for traveling hours to see my graduation today and for them being involved in my life.
During my time at YRA, I was able to accomplish a lot. I had the privilege of going to New Horizons to learn to work on cars. I got 3 ASC certifications: brakes, engine repair, and automotive service. I also took a few CTE classes and got certified in Microsoft Word, PowerPoint, and Excel. I also have the Virginia Workplace Readiness certification and the WISE Financial Literacy certification. I've made so many good memories over the years at school, from the choir performances at Hickam Elementary and Grafton Middle, and to the 8th grade Busch Gardens field trip and the go-kart building and racing at New Horizons. The COVID-19 pandemic and every move to another state were some of the most challenging times of my academic career. Virtual classes were certainly not my forte, and being a new kid all over again was always a struggle because I was starting at square one of fitting in all over again, and leaving the place that I lived and my previous school behind was always a challenge. As of right now, I will be working at Priority Lexus for the time being and for the foreseeable future, and maybe consider post-secondary education at some point. I cannot express it enough, but the gratitude that I have for my family and my teachers and all those who have played an important role in my life will not go unnoticed. Thank you for the support throughout my educational life and experience. Thank you, and good night.
Hi, Tony. Esteemed guests and fellow speakers, I stand before you today with a feeling of dread and trepidation. For you see, I've been asked to give a speech, and I must confess that the very thought of it fills me with a sense of unease and discomfort. I am not a natural orator, nor am I particularly comfortable in front of large crowds, and the very idea of standing before you delivering a speech that is both engaging and informative seems like an insurmountable task. And yet, here I am. I have been asked to speak, and so I must. But I cannot promise you a great speech, nor can I guarantee you that I will be able to keep you entertained for the duration of my given time. I must admit I would much rather be sitting in the audience, listening to someone else speak. I envy those who possess the gift of public speaking with confidence, who can effortlessly command the attention of a room with their words. But alas, I am not one of those people. I am just an individual standing before you today with a sense of apprehension and uncertainty. So I ask you to bear with me, to forgive any stumbling or stuttering that may occur, and to understand that this speech is not a reflection of my true abilities as a speaker. It is simply the best that I can do under the circumstances. Thank you for your understanding, so let's get on with the rest of the speech, shall we? Ladies, gentlemen, and all in between, I stand before you today to deliver a speech that is both meaningful and meaningless. For too long, we have been bound by the constraints of logic and reason, trapped in a world where coherence is king and incoherence is shunned. But I say to you that it is time to break free from these shackles of sense. We live in an era of unprecedented technological advancement where the impossible becomes possible and the unimaginable becomes reality. And yet, we are still limited by the narrow confines of our own understanding. We cling to our preconceived notions and our rigid frameworks, afraid to venture beyond the boundaries of what we know to be true. But what if we were to embrace the unknown? What if we were to abandon the safety of reason and embrace the chaos of the nonsensical? What if we were to let go of our need for order and instead embrace the beautiful messiness of the absurd? It is in this realm of the irrational that we find true creativity and innovation, for it is only when we let go for our need for coherence that we can truly explore the outer limits of human imagination. We must be willing to take risks, to embrace the unexpected, and to let go of our need for control. So let us cast aside our rational minds and embrace the beauty of the nonsensical. Let us revel in the absurd and celebrate the chaotic, for it is only in this realm of the irrational that we can truly find freedom and creativity. Thank you. And in case I don't see you after this, good afternoon, good evening, and good night.
Okay. Hi, my name is Ray Stillwell. I'm glad to be standing here on the same stage I played clarinet in 7th grade band. That concert did not go that well, but I hope the speech goes better. It's so weird to look back on those times. I was a quiet kid. I mean, raising my hand was a big deal. And now I'm graduating high school. I will admit, no part of high school was easy. I just scraped the finish line. My teachers and my friends at YRA showed me that I am strong and motivated to succeed. And I feel like I have somewhat of a family here. I even got to annoy Mr. Ritter for 2 years, and I'm leaving here feeling prepared for my future. And one more thing I forgot to mention is thank you for my friends and family and my boyfriend, Noah. I wouldn't have done this without them. Thank you.
Hello everyone, my name is Jacob Taylor. Some of you may know me as a friend of your child, and that means a lot to me because what's most important to me is not making enemies, and thanks to your children, I have avoided making many. There's a lot to talk about, but I want to focus on a few things. First, though, I'd like to thank a few people, including my mother, Rebecca, for constantly pushing me to improve my grades. Though it may not have always worked, she still made an effort. I'd like to thank the rest of my friends and family as well for tolerating the many horrible jokes I made throughout the years. And last of all, I'd like to thank Ms. Collier and my 5th grade teacher, Ms. Gillespie, and my 7th grade teacher, Mr. Morrison, who is now retired, for showing me that I'm very capable at math without getting impatient anytime I had a lot of questions. Moving on to the actual topic, I have always enjoyed giving people gifts, and getting access to the 3D printer on my senior year let me do that much more. I started printing many things, both testing the capabilities of the machinery and checking how different inklines affected the print quality. Some things that were supposed to be printed but sadly did not get printed were Christmas ornaments for the teachers, a cat for Ms. Collier, a book and some bookmarks for Mr. Lorio, the front half of the White House for Mr. Tremblay, a DNA helix and monkey femur for Ms. Marinova, a small dollar symbol that can spin freely for Miss Wheeler, a planter for Mrs. Sheffield, and a Mustang for Mr. Carpenter. I give people things because I enjoy it, and this was all no different. And though all of that seems like a bigger project than a small bus, my proudest project was modeling a small bus for the county's most dedicated bus driver, someone who had been driving for 50 years. There are many things that have been left off this list simply because there have been so many prints it's hard to remember them all. This year has been packed, and I enjoyed giving the teachers gifts to show my appreciation. Thank you for listening.
Hi, I'm Jacob Weber. In my years of York River Academy, I have learned many different things. One of the more important things I have learned is that hard work pays. Before YRA, I was lazy, so I barely did my work. During my time at YRA, I became more motivated to do my work, and while that motivation increased, the work I did also increased. In my first year, I managed to get 3 Microsoft certifications. In my second, it was the pandemic, so while I didn't do anything special, I managed to pass that year in spite of COVID. In my third year, for my entire first semester, I was able to finish all my work for a certain class an entire week before it was due. So I would have the rest of that week off in that class. Even this year, I worked hard to graduate from the New Horizons Cybersecurity course, which I did, earning a CompTIA A+ certification. I would have never gotten all of that if I didn't work hard to complete the classes. Hard work is the reason I was able to achieve all of these things. Because of hard work, I'm standing in front of you today, graduating from York River Academy. Of course, I probably wouldn't have been so motivated to do all of that if it wasn't for all the staff at YRA, so I would like to thank them all for helping me be motivated to do the work that allowed me to graduate.
Good evening. My name is Ian Wolf. I'm excited to be part of the graduating class of 2023 at YRA. I'm not used to giving speeches in front of people, but I think I can get through this one because of how excited I am to be graduating tonight. I've had a lot of people, I have a lot of people I want to thank for helping me get to the stage tonight. First, I want to thank my mom and my dad. They've been very patient with me since the start. I also wanted to thank my teachers. They have helped me through so many assignments I can't even count. And I wanted to thank my friends I've made along the way. During my relatively short time at YRA, I've had a chance to make some favorite memories. One of my favorite things to do here has been to work at the garden. I've enjoyed the opportunities to get some fresh air and use various gardening tools and do some satisfying hard work. I'm not sure what the future has in store for me, but I know I'm ready to be out of school.
Can we give them all one big round of applause? That's a really hard thing to do. And they wrote their own speeches, and they just gave them all to you. They did a wonderful job. Tonight, I'd like to mention a couple of students who won specific awards in the last couple of weeks. We have a Valerie Taylor Award that's given to a student that most exemplifies YRA, and that award was given to Owen Munson. On June 5th, we had the opportunity to celebrate our Senior of the Year, Roman Ahmad. And there are 2 more quick awards this evening. Mike and Claire Stevens are here. They've joined us this evening. They've asked me to present this award on their behalf. The James M. Stevens Memorial Scholarship was established by his parents, Mike and Claire, to honor their son, who died in May of 2018. The Stevenses are here tonight. Thank you for coming. James, autistic from birth, was an exceptional student, graduating from Bethel High School and graduating with honors from Thomas Nelson Community College. This scholarship recognizes deserving student who has persevered to overcome challenges and has impressed their teacher with their ability to succeed. As a way of recognizing the tireless efforts in helping this student succeed, the teachers nominate the student, and then the teachers also choose who wins the award. The scholarship will pay up to $2,000 and for a student who is going into a program up to 2 years after they graduate. Tonight's recipient is Maddie Northrup. At this time, I have the honor of awarding the York River Academy Medallion. The York River Academy Medallion has been commissioned to represent one of the highest honors that can be awarded to a graduating senior at York River Academy. Only those seniors who for all of their years at York River Academy have contributed to the pride and spirit of the school may be selected. The principal and faculty look for those students who have dedicated themselves to York River Academy to make the selection. These students have been active, helpful, and hardworking, giving their energy and time beyond all expectation. The York River Academy Medallion is always rewarded at graduation, and all recipients are unaware of this honor until this time. This year's award winner is Ben Rabb.
You can put it back on when you get yours. It always seems a little superfluous to give a speech after all of these guys give their speech, but nonetheless, that's my job, so good evening. I know I speak for our entire staff when I express gratitude for the ongoing support of our school board members, executive leadership, Dr. Shandor, and the many current and former administrators and support staff in the audience tonight that have come to share in this joyous occasion for our York River Academy graduates. We quite literally couldn't exist without you. I also want to take a moment to thank the York High School NJROTC and Ms. Higginbotham for agreeing to partner with us tonight to celebrate our graduates. Lastly, I would like to thank the families of our graduates and our graduates for trusting in the process and choosing YRA as your place to belong. As many of our students said tonight, public speaking is not my thing. It causes anxiety and leaves me wondering what I could possibly talk about that has not been said or would inspire any of you to listen. There's a lot of pressure to be the right balance of inspiring and funny and thought-provoking when most of you, especially the seniors, just want to get on with it. I will admit to spending too much time on Monday listening to speakers presenting at the other 4 high school graduations. I was not surprised to find that they used all of my best material. I could give a speech following any of their themes, as they were all amazingly relevant to this graduating class. Had you made a different choice 2, 3, or 4 years ago, you might have heard Dr. Carroll reminding Bruton that they can do hard things, while Ms. Dockery told those Panthers to face obstacles without fear. Ms. Skinner shared that with Grafton that life is unpredictable, but to seek opportunities. And Mr. Gavin, well, I'll come back to that one. Dr. Vladu reminded York that the meaning of life really is pretty simple. Take responsibility for yourself and those you love, to be followed by Dr. Butler sharing the story of the ingenious senior prank of York High School where they all showed up camping in her backyard. Thank you all for not doing that. And then, of course, you heard Dr. Shandor's speech, only slightly edited from the one he gave Tab when his own daughter graduated Saturday. He said to bet on yourself, choose to believe in you. With Miss Lugo movingly sharing how she had known many of the graduates since kindergarten, she knew a few of you, and one since birth. So how do I compete with that? The essence of all those great speeches condensed into a paragraph. You're welcome. Look how much time I just saved you from watching all those speeches. So where does that leave me? First, I will say that I did not consult the oracle of ChatGPT, as I heard others thought about doing. It's not really my style. Then I thought all my mom advice over the years and decided the seniors have heard all of that. So once again, I leaned on my background as a science teacher. So no, if you were here last year, I'm not going to tear up while I tell you about the frogs in the rainforest. Never tell a good story more than once.
Tonight, I'm going to tell you about orioles, birds, specifically how they build their nests. Now, while orioles are exquisitely beautiful orange birds, they are not a phoenix. But since they're real and the phoenix is, well, not, they make a better science story. Suspended like a basketball net from a high-up branch, an oriole nest stands out from any other North American birds with hundreds of thin, intertwined fibers. The seemingly delicate cradle of a nest can carry up to 7 eggs and last for months, sometimes even years, beyond its intended purpose. It's a true testament to the skill and dedication of an oriole. Orioles are one of the few bird species that will make beautiful nests out of whatever materials they find, because they know it's not the raw material, but the delicate and deft weaving that produces lasting results. Now, don't think this means that their choices of material are not specific and deliberate, because they are. They choose carefully to be sure that they can take the material and with patience create their masterpiece. Some have even been known to take cast-off materials like fishing line and weave it into the natural fibers of their nest. In these nests, the young grow and become ready to take on the world. The nest provided roots for the growing birds. I didn't forget you, Miss Gerolds. She talked about the importance of good roots a little while ago. Maybe more importantly for this story, though, that carefully woven nest helps the birds find their wings. All of this nest building and bird fledgling is hard work. There's a pretty famous quote that has been attributed to greats such as Confucius and Mark Twain that says, "Find a job you love and you'll never work a day in your life." Well, I don't mean to dispute the great genius that brought us unforgettable stories about jumping frogs and river adventures, but let me tell you, they were wrong. What the quote should be is, find a job you love and the hard work will be worth it. Because friends, and yes, I mean the 17 of you specifically on the front row, work is hard. Work is sometimes no fun, and work is sometimes not rewarding. There will be days when you're asked to do things that are not your job. Do them anyway. No job should ever be beneath you whenever you are the boss, whether you're the boss or a new employee. The work is not about you, it's about the goal. There will be days when no matter what you do, you will not feel like you accomplished anything. Find something to celebrate. Work is not about the moment, it's about the process. There will be days when someone wants to take the credit for something you did. Let them. Their win is not your loss. There will be days when people say things about you that aren't true. Know your worth. The work is not about their approval. And lastly, there will be days when you feel beaten, and that is a moment of choice. Choose to change or choose to work because it's worth it, because it feeds your soul, because it answers your why. Neither choice is wrong. But as Mr. Gavin said in his speech to Grafton, indecision is why there are so many flat squirrels. Don't be afraid to choose. It was a great speech, by the way. You might want to listen to that one. So what does this have to do with orioles and graduation? The story of how orioles build their nests is not unlike the story of how YRA builds a space for our students. There are no mistakes in who is here for however long they are here. Teachers, staff, and students are carefully chosen to maximize potential and successful growth. Together we work. Together we rise. Now, we're not orioles. We are phoenixes. And even though we have setbacks, the greatness is in the comeback. A phoenix is quite literally born to be resilient. Remember that. We hope we have weaved together a place for you to grow, be safe, and learn to use your wings. The work is sometimes hard. The work is often wonderful, but the work is always worth it. You are always worth it. And know that after you fly tonight, I had to tear up a little bit. You are always welcome. You are always loved. And if you need to reach out to be reminded of that, we're here adding new layers to our nest to help the next generation of the Phoenix family find their wings. Thank you.
Roman Quinn Ahmad. Morgan Turner Anthony. Ian Taylor Bell. Vanessa Cornelius. Hunter Cole Fournier. James Patrick Green. Lillian Haley Jane Harris. Aiden Stewart Miller. Owen Gary Munson. Madison Jean Northrop. Benjamin Joseph Rabb. Teague Michael Shassi. Kaylee Elizabeth Schroeder. Samantha Maria Stillwell. Jacob Robert Taylor. Jacob Christian Weber. Ian Daniel Wolf.
York River Academy.